This is just a quick look at the snowfall that we got this week. The day I took this was the 9th of September, just 2 days after Labor Day, and I don't remember ever having a snowfall that early on the 9th of September. I hope that doesn't signify that we're having a bad one this year. So now it's a couple days later. This is as of this morning, the 12th of September. And my cameraman is gone, so I'm going to have to do all the filming myself. So I put a bucket out to mark the center of my circle so I don't get lost. That's the middle of my frame, and I'm scuffing out my little circle here. And I'm being followed by a wild turkey. So this isn't going to be the greatest camera work, but we're going to go with it. I've only been able to work with Samba a couple of times this week because of the snow. And at this point, we've already done some round penning, and we've done some groundwork reviews, but she's just not really in the mood on this occasion. It's not some of my best training, but at least we're going to get a lesson in and touch bases. So what I'm doing here is I'm just riding her from the ground in the circle. Here you can see I kind of turn toward her. She's so sensitive. If I turn toward her at all, she thinks she's supposed to do move out. Really extremely. So I noticed that I had my shoulders turned toward her when I did this. So I'm kind of reinforcing her to keep doing move out as much as possible in her mind. I didn't do that deliberately, but she does have a nice deep head position there when she's doing it. And I kind of have to readjust my position in order to get her going forward again. She never does move out this nicely under saddle. She always ignores me. So she's going forward nicely again. And I'm kind of holding my hands a little higher. In the last lesson, you told me not to hold them at my belly button when I'm riding from the ground. You said to have them a little higher. You told me to have the hand that's on the outside rein a little higher, pulling down on the rein like a pulley. So that's what I'm doing. She's just easily distracted, and she saw something there and stopped. So I'm just reassuring her a little bit, and we're going to go again. She has these nice little moments like that right there where she drops her head down really nicely. And there's another nice little moment where she really puts her head down and bends a little bit. And there. I find she does best when I go around and around several times so she learns what she's supposed to do. And I don't keep confusing her too much initially with a lot of requests. Here we're going to change direction. I should have done more stopping with her in this lesson because you just can't stop her. She just keeps rolling on. Some days she just will not stop. And the rougher you get with her, and the more insistent and the more harsh you get with the reins, the worse she does. So I just really have to take the opposite tack and try to be really soft with her at all times to get her to calm down and cooperate with me. And you probably think, oh, she's such a quiet horse. She would never do that. But that's the power of editing. You only see the good stuff. This is a nice little moment here. I had to slow it down and show you again. And there she's doing a move out. As I say, this wasn't my best day of riding with her. It's almost as if I've forgotten everything that I learned how to unlock her in the past few days without riding. So I'm not real proud of this. I don't think it's the best, but we're gonna go with it. And she still has her frequent moments when she loses focus and she's got to stare at something on the outside. But there she does a nice little move, nice moment there. So she seemed to be doing quite nicely here. I thought it would be safe to get on her at this point. And there is a close-up of my seat. Now in the riding phase, I go out of the frame quite a bit and stay out of the frame for long periods of time. So I have trimmed those parts of the video to try to shorten this up somewhat. I think I look a little stiff. My hands are too far forward. Here, Samba just said, I don't want to do this. Let's go over here. So I had to stop her. I'm trying to do turn-in with her to get her back on the circle. But she's enamored of that area down there where I take the tack off and give her treats. That's always where she wants to go. Oh, I look very stiff here. And my feet are too far forward. It's just not a good day. The place where she looks best in this whole thing is where she puts her head down to snort. And then she kind of knocked herself off balance, so she threw her head up there. So what I'm trying to do in all of this is to do less. And I'm just turning my belly button toward the center to try to get her to do turn in and make a smaller circle. And I'm turning my belly button to the outside to get her to make a bigger circle and do move out. Oh, she just vanished there. Okay, here we're going to do a turn in. I got right in front of the camera so you get a good view of it. And she drops her head nicely. Here I'm asking her with my seat and my leg to do turn in. It wasn't the greatest. And she vanishes again. This is how they made Bewitched. You can see I'm turning my upper body quite a bit here to try to get her to make a smaller circle. And she is. She's complying. Oh, I can see I'm turning my head way too much though. Right about here, she starts to move out a little bit. She's a little confused there, so she stops. And she says, "Is this what you want?" That's kind of interesting. I can't see that I turned my body at all to make that happen. So I figure that this is probably the best it's gonna get in this session. I didn't mention it before, but when Prairie bucked me off about 6 weeks ago, I pulled a groin ligament, and that's why I have the John Wayne walk here. It just bothers me now and then.